Once again, good afternoon everyone. Nari Shakti, Srishti ki Adharshila. Women are the foundation of creation, of progress, and of transformation. Namaste, Namaskaram, and Sasriyakal, and a very warm welcome to everyone joining us today from across locations. It is an absolute honor to be part of this celebration of International Women's Month, where we embrace the power of Shakti Se Pragati, the belief that when women rise, progress becomes unstoppable. Imagine a world where gender equality is not just a goal, but a reality. McKinsey report on power of parity shows that if women participated in the workforce at the same rate as men, global GDP could increase by 28 trillion by 2025. That's not just progress, it's transformation. We are privileged to have some incredible leaders with us today who are not just champions of change, but architects of an inclusive future. Mr. Rajendra Singh Ahuja, CEO Power Vedanta, Mr. Pankaj Sharma, CEO TSPL, Mr. G. Venkat Reddy, CEO of Meenakshi, Mr. Devendra Patel, CEO of Athena VLCTP, Mr. Rohit S., President, Business Development and Operations from PowerMech, our key business partner. And of course, our esteemed panelists, stalwarts who have redefined resilience, leadership, and success.
We also recognize that diversity is just not right thing to do. It makes a business sense, right? And drives inclusive growth, inclusivity, a diversity thought process, values, a culture driven by values of care, respect, integrity. And studies have always proved that, wherever we have highest number of diversity, the business has done well. Done well not just in terms of the numbers, but also in terms of a culture where care, respect, integrity is interwoven. I was told that, in the past, whatever integrity cases we have seen across Vedanta, none of the cases have seen, the women's participating in any of the integrity causes. That gives really lot of comfort. But otherwise also, when we talk about our safety records, there also, I see a very less involvement of women in any injury or any incident which we have seen in the past. So, very encouraging data. Just to further take this discussion, we are here to make a long-term commitment to the success of this initiative. Our goal is to increase the representation of women in leadership and looking at all the aspects which can support women in technical and engineering roles. I am seeing our business partner also participating in this session today, and my next focus is to work with our business partner, because that's an area where we can make a larger impact on the community where we operate in. We should try and make sure that we should take as many women leadership from local community where we operate in through our business partner in the role which is dominated by the by the men as of now. And that's where I think we will work together along with the business partner. And I know PowerMech is one of very strong business partner, and they also are looking progressively towards it. I encourage at the end to each one of you, whether you are an executive or a manager or engineer or a young professional, to please participate and take action in your own way. I don't think women today needs an extra support, but what we all need to be cautious of our inner bias, which should not be coming in the way of creating an equitable environment where both genders thrive based on their competence and talent. So that's what from my side. I am very happy to be participating in this celebration today and looking forward to an engaging discussion with the panel. Thank you, Gopika. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ahuja. That was indeed showing the commitment towards an equitable world. They say glass ceilings are meant to be shattered. But let's be honest, classes fragile. What we are up against are concrete ceilings, solid, reinforced barriers. But here's the good news: concrete can be drilled though, one action at a time. And that's what we are going to do as Vedanta Par. It's now time for a thought provoking conversation with stalwarts who have broken barriers and redefined success. To lead this discussion, I'm honored to introduce our moderator for today, Shruti Singh, network leader of Lean in Gurgaon, and the one who invoked the Shakti in her to selflessly fight for Nirbhaya and stand by her parents. To the Shakti herself, Shruti, मंच आपका है.
Thank you so much, Gopika. It is truly an honor to be here. And with this, I would also want to extend my gratitude to Mr. Rajinder Singh Ahuja for supporting us in all of this. I was hearing very keenly and was smiling because what I gathered from the discussion that's been happening so far and been connected to Vedanta for quite some time now is that Vedanta truly believes that empowered women will empower the world. Shakti se pragati. It embodies the belief. And it is a pledge to champion, women to take the world forward, be it in their lives, workforce, homes, communities. And more than often do I hear Mr. Anil Agarwal and Priya and Rajendra sir right now talking about building the nation together. Nothing can be more empowering than this. And thank you for inviting me to hold this discussion today. Without further ado, I am truly delighted to invite three remarkable individuals. Breaking the ceiling, I don't think they ever saw one. When I first met Kiran, this is what she said to me very politely. Motivation will get you started, but it is the commitment that will keep you going. She's a trailblazer who has shattered gender barriers time and again. When life threw her with the toughest challenge, she lost a limb to an accident. Society was very quick to dismiss her dreams. But Kiran did not give up to her adversity. She ran past it. And when I say she ran past it, she literally did it. She's India's first female Blade Runner, a 6-time half marathoner, a TEDx speaker, and a passionate advocate for inclusivity. She supports various NGOs in a lot more capacity, mother of 2, and a dedicated housewife. Welcome, Kiran, to the discussion today. The next in panel we have is someone who is known as a DEI change maker, a social entrepreneur, and a fierce advocate of equality. Zainab was born in Mumbai. She's a transgender right pioneer. One of the petitioner in both landmark cases on transgender right and marriage equality case in India. She is the one who's leading with examples. In her professional journey, she's been working with large organizations and leading DEI conversation with organizations like Cummins, KPMG, and UNDP India. And it does not stop here. She is also an entrepreneur enabling trans people and non-binary individuals with employability by running the Trans Cafe and a transformational salon in Mumbai. Truly inspiring. Welcome, Zainab. And last and not the least, it's a complete honor to invite and witness Mandeep Marwa, popularly known as Mandy, artist on a bike. She is the founder of Eagle Rider Academy, which empowers women through motorcycle riding. After spending 2 decades in Middle East where women were banned from riding, she taught herself biking in age of 45, started her academy in 2017, and there was no looking back since then. Not only this, she is also a Guinness Book of World Record holder for crochet, an artist, a leadership mentor, mother of 2 beautiful daughters, and what not. She blends empowerment with training, inspiring women to lead, learn, and break barriers. Welcome once again. I would love to start my conversation today with Kiran. And today, what we want to really explore is the purpose part of your lives, Kiran, Zainab, and Mandeep. And if I'm okay to call her Mandy. So, Kiran, my question starts, the discussion starts with you by identifying the purpose. Let me start with stating and acknowledging the extraordinary journey you've had. What was that defining moment, when things were just not, seems to be in favor of you? You lost a leg, financially restricted and constrained, career-wise, there was difficulty in looking back. What was that one defining moment where you decided to go ahead and crave a path with purpose? And what made you move forward?
Okay. Yeah. So that time I could recall the time I spent in the hospital after the accident was a turning point for me. The pain was unbearable, and the reality of losing my leg was intense and overwhelming experience. So during that time, I have to accept that fact I would have only one leg to live my rest of the life. So in that moment, I realized that I had choices. I can sit at home, do nothing, or I could take charge of my destiny and move forward. The true turning point came in my life when I met with other amputees at the prosthetic center. When I saw them, they are embracing with optimism and happiness despite of the challenges. It gave me the sense of hope and courage to reclaim my life. So from there, I decided to embrace myself with running and a sense of determination. So I each step I took with my prosthetic blade, it became a powerful reminder of my resilience and strength. Today, I run marathon. I not only push my own limit, but also I mentor others and share my story and inspire them to keep going. So this experience has taught me the setbacks are inevitable, but how we respond to them truly defines our strength. It serves as a reminder that we should never limit ourselves with circumstances, rather rise above with willingness to move forward.
Oh, so beautiful. Thank you so much, Kiran. And I believe that great smile is also reflected in the advertisement that you did with Colgate. And thank you, Colgate, for doing that for us. My question next is to Zainab. Zainab, your journey towards self-identity was, and your relentless fight for equal right have come with unimaginable challenges. What was your calling? That moment you knew that the right to equality will be your life mission and will be absolutely non-negotiable.
Thank you, Shruti, and very good afternoon to all of you. Sabhi ko namaskar. I feel very happy to join all of you. This is my second time that I'm speaking at Vedanta. Although I spoke at the Hindustan Zinc office the last year, and I feel great because like most of you on the call, I also identify as a woman in the power business. I just finished a brief stint with Cummins, where we were in the power supply business as well. So in ode to all of the women and men supporting them as allies, I wrote a small poem, and it's in Hindi, but I would take half a minute to go to it with your permission. And it's Nari se pragati, urja se ujala. So the title of the poem is such: Jahan andhera gehraaya, वही नारी ने रोशनी राह बनाई, ट्रांसफॉर्मर से टर्बाइन तक उसने हर जगह अपनी बनाई। हाई वोल्टेज सपनों में जीती हूँ मैं, करंट से डरूं क्यों, मैं खुद बिजली हूँ मैं। हेलमेट से हौसला, हाथों में औजार, ऊंची टावर्स, सबस्टेशन, हर जगह उसकी सरकार। कभी कंट्रोल रूम, कभी प्लांट की कमांडर। अब वो पावर ग्रिड की असली चालक और धारक। ये काम मर्दों का है, कहने वालों को दिखाया। अब वो केवल बिजली नहीं बनाती, वो खुद बिजली बन गई है। अब नारी नहीं रुकेगी, अब दुनिया रोशन होगी। So with that, I want to thank all of the women and men who are powering India and hopefully also powering the world in their jobs, and also to the social transformation that they are bringing in to the work on power generation. Shruti, thank you for asking this question about what made my life's mission on equality non-negotiable. A lot of people who know me, especially from my work with the UN and the civil society, as a transgender person, I was not only involved in looking at LGBTQ issues, but I've also worked in the Nirbhaya case, in the Justice Verma Commission, in the manual scavenging case, in the persons with disability, in the HIV Act. And a lot of people think that activism is a grand decision. It's a moment like, awakening, like a Bollywood movie where a hero gets or a hero or the male or female hero of the film gets a flashback and decides to change the world. But for me, it wasn't a single moment. It was slow, relentless series of rejection, humiliations, and small victories that actually led me here. If I were to tell you, let me take you back to my childhood. Picture a young, slightly dramatic, and very determined child. Me, standing in front of a mirror, draping my mother's sari, pretending I was like a Yash Raj movie heroine. And in my head, I was Rekha from Umrao Jam. Outside the room, I was someone society didn't know what to do with. This was my first reality check. And from there came school. I was a child no one wanted to sit with. In group activities, I was accidentally or purposefully left out. I remember a day when I finally found the courage to participate in a school play, only to be told by the teacher, ये तो लड़कियों का रोल है, तुम्हारा नाम लिस्ट में है भी या नहीं? So I had to fight for everything, even the right to exist in a classroom. And then came the battle for legal recognition. If you want to know what rejection feels like, you try filling out a government form. When your existence becomes an error in the system. I remember standing in the government office waiting in line only for the officer to look me up and down and say that, Madam, ये तो form सिर्फ male या female के लिए है. And I smiled and asked, was it transgender के लिए? And he blinked. He genuinely did not know what the answer was. And that moment I realized I was not only fighting for rights for myself, I was fighting for recognition, for the right to exist, to belong and to be seen. And that's when my mission became impossible. And, in the two cases where I've had phenomenal success, in the NALSA versus the Indian Union of India or the marriage equality case, winning a legal battle is one thing, but winning a place in society is another. And that's where the real, work begins, because you can have fabulous judgment, you can have fabulous laws in the country, but unless you find equality and equity in that space. And I think, Vedanta does such a fantastic job in exactly driving this equity, because they are there not in the journey to prove a benchmark or to become a benchmark or a milestone, but to prove a point that equity comes in from different measures, from looking at different aspects, and to drive in, because I think we all confuse equality with equity, and we think they are the same things. They may be similar sounding, but they move in totally different directions. So kudos to the team, and this is what I believe, that my life has been not so much about equality, but about finding equity and the right to exist with dignity.
Thank you so much, Zainab. And that also reminds me, when we were fighting for Nirbhaya case and the judgment came, and I was there when the hanging was happening. We actually knew that the number of people going to be dead after getting raped or violated will go high, but that's a calculated risk we took, because we knew if we stop, it'll be over forever. Thanks for reminding me of that, and then a beautiful journey. Mandeep, my question to you now for identifying your purpose is, when did you figure I mean, you've been riding bike for like 10 years and more now. Have run border to border with so many other women, inspired and done, got sponsored by Royal Enfield and so and whatnot. What made you choose to build this tribe of bike riders in India? I mean, you're an established artist, you've been doing corporate, leadership workshops for long, but ये कहाँ से चमका?
Yeah, it's not a common story. So first of all, thank you so much, for inviting me on the panel. I'm so happy to be here, and hello to everybody else. Namaskar, Sat Shri Akal. It's a real privilege to be here. As far as biking, so I think it came from a sense of not being able to, because I grew up in the Middle East and I spent about 30 years of my life there. So, and I had this agenda that I want to ride motorcycles, and it made no sense because back in the 80s, women were not allowed to ride motorcycles. So you couldn't even sit pillion. ये नहीं कि ride भी कर सकते थे, आप पीछे भी नहीं बैठ सकते थे. They'd put you on a flight and just deport you out of the country if they found that happening. So when I moved back to India about a decade and a half ago, मेरा ये agenda था, apart from everything else that I was up to, कि मुझे motorcycling, सीखनी. And as far as why, and what drove me, I think it's because when I first rode the motorcycle, and the only one I had access to, because hota kya hai that nobody wants to give a woman, his motorcycle. So it's not easy to get access to it. So the only one that a friend had was a 500 Bullet. And वो भारी motorcycle hai, So that's what I was put on for the first time on the motorcycle. But I am telling you, as crazy as this ride was, and of course I fell, giri, sab kuch hua. But when I took off my helmet, I had tears in my eyes. It was just like, a dream that I never thought I would be able to fulfill. And I think that's what really drove me to start the first ever all women's training academy. Like nothing like this existed in the world at that time, because I felt it's like when you find a good thing and you immediately want to share it with somebody you love. That's how I felt, Shruti. For me, it was like, mujhe ye mila hai. There might be other women out there who don't have access to something as simple as mujhe bike chalani hai, and that's how the academy started. And of course, I faced a lot of bias, because new rider, woman, 45 years old, it just didn't fit in a men's perspective of what motorcycling is. But I know what it gave to women. I mean, every time they would be crying after their first sessions, they were me, like I was them. It was like that for me. So just to empower them, and also the women I was training were not young women. Ye choti nahi thi. They were not younglings in their 20s. I've trained women up to 63 years old. So, and she would come and, she would have an argument with her husband and say, "Nahi, mujhe seekhni." And after that, whatever, 6 weeks of training with me, he bought her a KTM motorcycle, So it's the most fulfilling role, I'm a mother and I'm an artist and I also do leadership programs, but the most fulfilling role I have played is as a motorcycle trainer. Like truly I feel that, and it's really a mindset thing, like Kiran was changing. I think once that shift happens, in your head, then I feel you're unstoppable.
If someone with 63 can ask for advice, stop complaining. And everybody in the panel, and otherwise, we should stop complaining. Let's dream big. And thanks, Manny, for sharing all of that. Brilliant. And I'm beyond. Wow. My next round of questions comes from building their purpose. Now that you've identified and something that is giving you so much to, border to border, and that you're talking about so many intersectionalities of biases and stereotypes that you had to face. And when you were traveling with other people, what was your, secret sauce, or what was your mantra to ensure that you keep marching forward and that you bring that purpose to everyone along with you?
I feel, no, thanks for the question. It's so relevant, I think, I've been fortunate that, it's been about 10 years now, a little less than 10 years, I've really been able to do border to border. I've done Kanyakumari, to Kashmir, I've done the East and the West. I've traveled with the international riders who've come into the country and, and all on Royal Enfield. So I'm so happy that the motorcycles were always Indian. And surprisingly, they come to this country and they don't want Harley Davidsons and Triumphs. They want to ride Royal Enfields, and I feel really proud that, that's a fact of how the travel industry views Indian riding. But I think for me, what happened, yeah, I faced a lot of bias, because being a woman in a man's world, so new to riding, it was really difficult. But I think just showing up every day, like I would just show up, whether it was training for the women, getting the motorcycles, finding sponsors for, my training motorcycles. I've spoken to M3M, can you give me some land? I need a piece of land to train these people, and I think just constantly showing up, being resilient. And I think that's the advantage, especially when I talk about women leadership. I think, as women, I think we're so lucky to have that balance, right? Because, we have the culture of care and creating value and nurturing, but we're also strong and resilient. So I think, women do have an advantage. And a lot of people come to me about, women empowerment, but I have a lot of empathy for men, because I've also seen, my husband, my father-in-law, my brother-in-law really struggle, just because they were born a gender, they have to be presumed providers. So, women empowerment is all very good, but it's really to show up as a human being, I think, which is more essential.
Well, thank you so much, Manny, for that insight. I'm now moving to Zainab. Zainab, you did mention that, the legal battle is one which now seems to be easy one. Getting your place in this society was never an easy thing. With so much microaggression at workplace, none of the things that you chose or you decided to go ahead with was easy. You are working now, and then you're also giving employment and voices to people who are struggling with their identities, don't have a place to, and now that I've been contributing for quite some time, I understand the battle. So share with us, what is your motivation to keep marching with this purpose, keep building this purpose?
So let me be very, very honest. This fight is on many levels very, very, very exhausting. I'm sure all of these fantastic people on the panel have also dealt with the same level of exhaustion. About, there are days when you just wake up and think, Zainab, let's just get away from all of this, let's leave all of this behind. And then something happens, and I remember why I do this each and every day, over and over again. A few years ago, a very young trans person came to me, very nervous and hesitant, and she said she's been rejected from like 15, 16 job interviews. And by the time she came to me, she had stopped believing she could ever have a real job. And I asked her just a simple question. Unfortunately, by then I had my cafe, starting up. And I just asked her a simple question, chai bana sakte ho? And she nodded. And I gave her a job at the cafe, not as a favor, but because I truly believe that economic empowerment is the key to dignity. So while, Shruti, your own example about, fighting the Nirbhaya case, and I was in UNDP at that point, and I was working on the barriers to what would be perceived. And you would remember from the fight that the Cup Panchayats actually said that, people should not eat chow mein and women should not wear jeans and all of that stuff for, controlling this. But no one said, let's promote rational attitudes towards sexuality. And that's when I actually said that, once you really empower women or men or people of all genders through economic empowerment, it gives you a seat at the table. And I remember very clearly when that girl, she served tea to her customer, and literally, I could see her hands trembling when she was offering that cup of tea to the customer. The customer did not really bother and did not notice about her, but I could see that, familiar fear that I had in her own eyes, and the fear of being invisible. Fast forward a few months later, one day, she walked in and said, Didi, aaj maine na apni mummy ko paise bheje. And you know what that moment meant for me is that she reclaimed her dignity. She not only reclaimed dignity for herself, she was able to sustain her family, a family that was not really bothered about where she was, but her sense of responsibility kicked in and she was able to, give back to her family as well. And that meant that she was not only surviving, she was thriving for herself and others. And that's really what keeps me going. Because to be very honest, legal battles are extremely easy compared to getting people to accept us. when you fought for the Nirbhaya case, you would have probably understood, okay, now here, next step, this court will reject, that court will reject, we'll take it to the next level, someone will put in a, some clause and you'll come, but you know that the journey is going to be finite, not an infinite. But getting societal people to accept it, it's an infinite journey. And court has rules, society not as much. The rules are all in our head. You come up with a rule on your own. You can win a judgment, but you can never force someone to offer you a job, rent you a house, shake your hand without hesitation. And that's why I started my initiative, not to create a job, but to create places where people, irrespective of their gender, don't need to ask permission to exist and to survive and thrive. And that is why when people ask me, Zainab, why do you keep marching? Why do you keep chasing? Why do you keep running day in and day out? I march because the next generation should not have to fight the battles that I did. I march because young trans people should be able to dream without fear. And I march because equality is not a favor, it's a birthright. So if I have to fight for it, one cafe, one salon, one paycheck at a time, then so be it, because this is just not a job, this is a revolution, and we are making Bharat great. We're contributing to creating of jobs, to making India an economic powerhouse, and we are contributing by paying taxes and by creating an ecosystem that puts us and puts India on the world map. That's what keeps me going.
Thank you, Zainab. Kiran, building the purpose. Not only running 1 or 2 marathons, it's 6 now, half marathons. Motherhood, COVID, and a lot more, change of blade, which in itself technically is extremely exhausting phase. You've been managing all of it. If you have to reflect back, how did you go about building on your purpose? There are medical challenges which I understand, and I totally understand that society will take another generation to accept or give the space that is required. हमारे आज भी हिंदुस्तान में कई जगह inaccessible हैं for people with different abilities, if I may use that word. How do you ensure that you there and you, because you lead with so much of compassion, I've seen you as a leader when you motivate people, I've seen you making a magic happen. How do you do that?
Thank you, Shruti, for the good question. Previously, I didn't say thank you. I just went in the flow because I used to give talk in person, so I connect very fast. So, yeah, thank you, everyone. Hi, everyone. So, purpose. So, what I see in myself, like Mandy mentions, right, showing up. So, in all phases of my life, what I see every challenge not as an obstacle, I took as an opportunity to grow. So, what 3 things works for me? It's like first, support system. I had very good support system because of what I am today. I am able to do it. And second, as Mandy mentioned, showing up, discipline over motivation. मोटिवेशन कैन बी फेड अवे, वो जा सकता है, बट अगर हम डिसिप्लिन के साथ काम करते हैं तो आई थिंक वॉट एवर वी वॉन्ट टू अचीव वी कैन अचीव दैट. एंड थर्ड, आई हैव अ पर्पस. इफ वी हैव अ पर्पस, nothing can stop you. For me, it's not just about running a marathon. It is more than that. Sharing my journey with others and telling them like setbacks will come, but you have to keep on moving. So with all this, I define like this is what makes me every day. वही एक जुनून और जज्बे के साथ उठना और अपने सपनों को पाना है.
Beautiful. Junoon or Jaspa. I think those are my takeaways today. So today's conversation has nothing been short but inspiring. As we explore the journey of Kiran and Mandeep and Zainab. Kiran, you showed us, true adversity, how to turn an adversity into strength, pushing forward no matter what the odds are. Zainab, fight for justice and equality is endless. And you just made it sound easy that it's much more beyond that. Thank you for it. And Mandy, building and thriving and making a tribe happen. What a beautiful work that you're doing. Thank you so much, three of you, shattering the stereotype, powerless, powerful, fearless, and whatnot. As I conclude the discussion now and will open the discussion or people to ask questions, I just want to say something. I hope today's conversation leaves you inspired, as you listen to these amazing women by sharing this. I hope it helps you to remind you that working for a purpose is so much more important. Purpose is not just found, it is built brick by brick, challenge by challenge, and victory by victory. And I hope you embrace this journey. And I also would want to acknowledge on behalf of Vedanta Power, thank you for having this, enabling this whole conversation and event, and let us continue. And they are in any which way so well committed to rise, break barrier, and create a future driven with purpose. And with this, I'll end my conversation and I'll ask Abhilasha to take it forward from here. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shruti. And it was a wonderful interactive conversation we had with our panelists today. Kiran, Mandeep, and Zainab. Very, very interactive one. The sessions, the kind of, and it was like, a goosebump conversations we had. Zainab, your storyline, really touched me because I was working closely with the Pride team in my earlier organization. Mandy, what an inspiration journey, right? I would love to join you in some ride if I get a chance. And Kiran, really an inspiring story. But before I start, I want to say something which I instantly make up for this session. So Rajinder ki ek kiran se आज श्रुति ने Mandeep का Zainab किया है. So Mandeep is enlightenment and Zainab is a fragrant flower. So that is something I would like to start the conversation with. And I feel everyone and each one of us who are here, present here, and every woman across the globe, they are filled with power. It's just that they have to realize that when to accept this and break the barriers or break the autonomy that we have. So I truly believe that P stands for potential, O is opportunity, W is the wisdom that we can live with, and E is the empowerment, and R is the resilience. And all our panelists today have proved that with the conversation with Shruti, that they are living this power every day. So moving ahead with this conversation, I would like to take the first question from our employee Anjita Jose, who is the lead CSR, one of our young leader. And this question is for Mr. Ahuja. Over to you, Anjita.
Hi everyone, I'm Anjita from the CSR department of Meenakshi. Rajendra sir, my question is to you. So, could you share how the women in your life, whether as colleagues, mentors, or family, have influenced you in your leadership style?
So I think I must acknowledge first that I am not a person who what I'm talking today was in the past, right? I have also grown with the time. I have lived with my own biases, right? And my last stint at Hindustan Zinc and in Vedanta, when I was heading the sustainability department, has not only helped organization as an organization to shape up where we want to go and what matters to us when it comes to diversity, inclusivity, and equity, but it has also helped me shape my thought process, because they, as many of you were saying, right, unknown biases which always played in you, right? And Mandeep also shared few things, right? I'm also of the same story, that I am changing every day, and today when I am hearing all of them further, I am sure they have added some more change in me, in my thought process. And it's required, and this acceptance is also required, because we are talking today about change. We are not talking about that we have reached where we wanted to reach. And I think it's very important for us, Anjita, to first accept that we may not be thinking at a level where we should be thinking today, and tomorrow cannot be the same day we are here today, right? It has to change, it has to evolve. I wanted to take name of Priya Agarwal. Unfortunately, she could not join us, but I'm sure all of you have seen how last 2 years Vedanta has thought about sustainability, thought about care, respect, thought about the values. And I am sure every one of you knows that it is because, Priya was standing as a top leader behind, as a force to bring this change. And when she was standing there with a I think unshaken commitment, she did not only brought change, but she brought the change very fast. Each one of us in the organization knows that how companies started thinking about sustainability, all aspects of sustainability. So when we talk about this change, we have all witnessed together. Priya was standing behind that. So we very strong leader, which actually stood in front and brought this cultural transformation, a thought process change. Today, I think so many places we are celebrating, and we are talking Vedanta will achieve 30% diversity by 2030, is something which I attributed to her thought process and her commitment on this subject. But this is just one part. Everyone knows how she's working on Yoda, animal care, TACO, and many aspects of her. So that is one leader in my life, which I have witnessed, which has not even brought the change across the organization, but I personally have also learned a lot when I was, working with her on all these aspects. And this is where it is important to accept that I was not where I am today, and I can tell you that I will be a better person tomorrow, because I am changing with all the people we are working with and all the women leaders we have in our power sector. So Gopika, Abhilasha, and many of you I could see on the screen, and Rajita, you yourself, right? And our panelists. So all of them are inspiration for us to, think about what more we can do. So this is what, Ranjita, maybe I am not sure I've answered you well or not, but let's respond from my side.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Ahuja and Anjita. Such a brilliant answer. So there is a quote on it, like yesterday I was clever because I was focusing on changing myself. But today I am changing others. But today I am wise because I am focusing on changing myself. And of course, reaffirming our focus on sustainability, which is a very, very important focus for everyone in the organization. Thank you, Mr. Ahuja. Now, moving ahead, I would like to invite Harjot Kaur, and she has a question for our panelist, Kiran Kanodia.
Hi, Kiran. It's an honor for us to interact with you along with other dynamic panelists. You are such a beacon of resilience, I think. So my question for you, Kiran, is that, so what are some habits or routines that have helped you stay motivated and focused throughout your journey?
Okay. Thank you, Harjot. That's very good question. So in my journey, like as I said, from my school times, as I have seen a lot of struggle. So if I am not in discipline, I know I will lose something from my life. If I don't study, I think where I am today, I won't become that, because every parent has a dream So from my childhood, while growing up, I have seen that struggle. So I was very disciplined person. Because of my discipline, I was able to score good marks, and then I got opportunity to get a job in a top IT companies. So that was again a very breaking a barrier for my parents, that because of my discipline I could change myself and my family. And a second, be you yourself. If we don't who we are, if we don't present ourselves what we want to, so I think that is very more important. In while we are working, we have to be very clear what we want, why we want that. So these two things really help me to grow as a person, professionally or a sports person.
Yeah, thank you, Kiran. Surely your words will be a echo kind of for me also from my journey. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kiran, for showing that what is strength means for a woman and how we can overcome any impossibility and make the world possible for everyone. Thank you, Kiran. Moving ahead, now I would like to invite Ritika. She has a question for our panelist Zainab. Hi, Zainab.
Hi everyone. First of all, thank you. It's a truly privilege to have you here, Zainabji. Your work in DEI and social impact is truly inspiring. My question to you is, while many organizations are working towards inclusion, how can companies ensure that this inclusion goes beyond policies and truly enable career growth and leadership opportunities for diverse employees?
Thank you, Shruti. I think that's a wonderful question. I think anyone who's in the Gen Z bracket today actually looks forward when they are looking at the job and the compensation. They're also kind of trying to see, is this company really equitable? Are they talking about stuff which matter to them? And what matters to people today is engagement, it is brand recognition, it is an individual employee's career journey. So if you're taking anyone, the person of any ability, any gender, any race, any regionality, and bringing them to say Vedanta, the person should be able to see themselves grow. And I'll give you a simple analogy. From a chaiwala, the potential to become the prime minister, every employee should feel geared that I may join where I am, but with dedication, with hard work, and with company policy to support me, I could probably reach a CEO or an MD or a board director position at some point of time. When I joined KPMG, I just came in from working with the diplomatic services. I was a career diplomat and I was based in Bangkok, and I came to India. It was a very different journey. But one thing that I learned very nicely over there is that you start at an associate level, and from an associate level, you can grow up to be a partner, and from a partner to take on any board position. That is what is important. So you can do the best recruitment, you can do the best inclusion and diversity policy, you can bring in the most affirming insurance, you can bring in the most affirming hiring policies, etc. But what makes a person stick beyond day one is the commitment of the manager to help them grow, having meaningful conversations on performance, encouraging the performer to be able to give their best, and then continue to provide them with opportunities to shine. If you have this mix ready, anyone, irrespective of their ability, so we are not talking only about high performing, but anyone who gets this mix. So here is the challenge for the organization, because you're not only bringing in policies, you're also empowering performance and people's manager to be able to drive the growth within the team. So that is, I believe, what it will take to walk the talk, to get underrepresented people to be in the forefront, to be in and talk about their journeys and to shine at their workplaces.
Thank you, Zainabji, for showing me also a different perspective of thinking and to be in an organization. Thank you.
Thanks, Zainab and Ritika, for having a conversation on very, very important aspect, like, how important it is for our leaders and managers to coach and mentor our people and help them reach their career aspirations and achieve with that dedication, determination, and discipline. Thanks, Zainab. It was a very, very effective conversation that we had. Now, moving forward, I would like to invite Sunny Sharma. And the question is here for Mandy.
Hi, Mandy.
Hi, Sunny.
Am I audible? Yeah.
Yes, you are.
So listening to was really great, but what struck me the most was the talk about the balance which you talked about, right? How do you strike balance, like with your contrasting passions? Like, how do you manage all those? And again, have they saved you in becoming who you are today, or what is the story behind that?
Wow, thank you for that question, Sunny.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, as far as balance, I feel, as women, we have an advantage, because we can be the strong, resilient, man kind of woman also. We can also be very graceful and nurturing. So what, we haven't talked about today actually is that even though a lot of the world perceives me as, this badass motorcyclist, wo sab kuch hai, but I am also someone who's a mother to 2 daughters. I married my older daughter last year, and मैं वो भी हूँ, who can sit with a ball of yarn and crochet for 3-4 घंटे. You will just lose me, So I think all of us actually have so many different avatars, and to really feed all of them is a challenge. But yeah, I committed to always being like a lifelong learner. अभी भी मैं courses, like today morning I was checking, because I do a lot of training programs, how can I learn even more? Even at 53, I still want to learn more. What can I do as far as organizational development and psychology? How do I get even deeper into my practice, So it's not easy to balance everything, but I think if you're committed ना कि मुझे ये करना है, एक life है, then life expands for you also. So I hope that answered your question.
It did. Thank you.
Thank you, Mandy and Sunny. What an interesting conversation. You reaffirmed, that commitment is something like where we have to focus in life. That is very, very important one. And moving forward to this conversation and a very interesting evening that we are having. So now I would like to invite Rohit Sajja. Hi, Rohit. And he is the Director of Business Development and Operations with PowerMech. And I would like to invite you for an interesting conversation on diversity and inclusion. Before we start the conversation and before we hear you, there are some interesting facts that we have, that diverse teams make better decisions 87% of the time compared to non-diverse teams. And companies in the top quartile of gender diversity on executive teams were 25% more likely to have above average profitability. So continuing to this, Rohit, what are your thoughts on bringing DEI in your organization? Of course, you're an important business partner for us. And what are your thoughts on having a raise in the diversity and inclusion in all the sites that you're operating with us?
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Abhilasha, for giving me this opportunity and also making a part of this forum. And Rajendra sir, Venkatreddy sir, thanks a lot again for having me. And Kiranji, Zainab ji, Mandeep ma'am, it's really inspiring. Hearing to all of your stories individually, everything had an element of, I'm really charged with a lot of inspiration after listening to all of your stories and the purpose of your lives. So I think we are a core industrial and infrastructure construction company, and while construction and industrial services have long been male dominated, we are working hard to break these barriers. So I have a very small inspiring story as to why we felt like breaking barriers. A small story. I hope it will inspire a few people here on the forum. So we were awarded the construction of a power plant in UAE, and to our surprise, this was one of the first projects that we have undertaken outside India. And this was an open cycle power plant. And the project manager happens to be a woman. She was a Spanish lady called Adelaida. And trust me, the project were to be, most projects, I think, these are very complex projects. They take their own time to get completed. But this was a 12-month project. And trust me, the way she maneuvered, the way she handled the project, it was really inspiring. Every meeting we had with her, the way she drove progress, and all the tonnage we were able to execute over 12 months, we were able to finish off the project 1 month ahead of schedule. And I would largely credit her for this to happen, because she was there as a bridge between the owner and they were the contractors, and she was handling most of this from the contractor side. So for this, we understand the importance of not just hiring women, but to offer mentorship, career development, and a safe and supportive work environment for them to work in all these construction sites. Today we have around 45 women employed in close to 62 construction sites that we are operating across the country. And we have to ensure that their training methodologies, all of the tools we give them for them to stay, grow, and lead in this field have to be woven in the very fabric of the organization. So we started all the way from the learning and development aspect, and most of these women also happen to be frontline employees for us, dealing directly with workers. So also ensuring for us to provide a safe work environment is equally important. So we are also taking those measures to provide a safe working environment for them. And so we have been prioritizing hiring women over the last 10 years. Since we started working with Vedanta, it's also instilled this women empowerment has been. I'm sorry about that. It's been instilled into the very fabric of our organization. So until 10 years back, we always believed it's important to give women power, empower them at every level. But after starting to work with Vedanta, working with leaders of Vedanta, becoming a part of this great organization, we also understood it's about recognizing the power they already possess. I think that's from my side, and thanks for giving me this opportunity.
Thanks, Rohit, and very, very interesting fact, the story that you have shared about your first project outside country. That was an interesting one, and it's very important, the time has come that we have to become the torch bearers, whatever role that we are performing. So now, taking the evening ahead, the time has come to invite the stalwarts of, the three stalwarts. And the first one that I would like to call a leader who make every day as inspirational as much, for each one of us, the plant head COO TSPL, Mr. Pankaj Sharma, to say something and on this evening.
Thank you, Abhilasha. Thank you for inviting me. A very good evening to all the aspiring panelists and everyone present here today. I would like to begin my address with a famous shloka from our scripts, which says, Yatra narastyu pujnate ramante tatra devta, which means a place where Shakti is worshipped, God resides there. This is a very essence of what we aim to achieve here at Vedanta. At TSPL, diversity is not just our priority, it is a core value. We celebrate Shakti every day here. I feel immense pride in sharing that we have the highest percentage of diversity, not only within the sector, but also within the group. Our women are doing wonders in power sector, which has traditionally been considered as a male-dominated industry. And this has made possible not only by the senior leadership of Vedanta, but also through the unwavering support and equal contribution of our male colleagues. Our leadership ensures an environment that empowers not only diversity, but also inclusivity, because we know कि जहाँ शक्ति होगी वहीं पर प्रगति होगी. With this, I would like to wish all very happy International Women's Day. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. And you have just set the context with the greatest leader is not necessarily the one who does the greatest things. He's the one that gets the people to do the greatest thing. So with this, this was a really inspirational one, sir. And moving forward, now I would like to call a person who knows for his words of wisdom, Mr. G. Venkat Reddy, CEO, Meenakshi Energy.
Thanks, Abhilasha. Thanks for giving me this opportunity. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, esteemed panelists. I think it is a privilege to talk on this occasion. I don't think that we need to again re-recognize the women. They are the born leaders. We see the women leaders every day in the form of mother, wife, a daughter, and a sister. So only one thing is that we are seeing them at the home. Only thing is that it took some time to accept in our male-dominated society in the industry. That's only the difference. Now at Meenakshi, we promote equal diversity. We are giving equal opportunity to all the women diversity leaders. As you have seen, Anjita is one of the young leaders who is heading one department. So that's the opportunity we are giving here. And my message to the entire leadership as well as the team here is that it's not only just saying mere words. Let us practice it. We give them an equal opportunity, provide them the safe and the exciting environment so that they can excel in their field. And if the women lead the department, our organization, it will excel, and the industry will excel. Through that, society will excel. And let us do together and ensure that all women leaders come to the next level of taking the positions in our leadership teams. Thanks and all the best.
Thank you, sir. A leader is the one who knows the way, shows the way, and goes the way. Thank you so much. With this, now I would like to call a leader, Mr. Devendra Patel, COO, VLCTPP, to speak, and who has really proved that action is speak more than words. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Abhilasha. Good evening, everyone. It is truly inspiring to witness the energy of enthusiasm. Shakti se Pragati. Yes, at Vedanta, we firmly believe that women are the driving force of the progress. We are committed to provide safe workplace where women can valued and empowered. Our female colleagues are leading in Vedanta many areas. They are leading and breaking the barriers and setting new benchmark. Vedanta ensures safe and growth-oriented environment where every woman can have the opportunity to excel and lead and inspire. As we celebrate Women's Day, let's continue to campaign gender equality and empowerment. Together we can achieve Pragati se Shakti. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So as you said, sir, I would like to say that a true leader is the one who create or who develop more leaders than followers. Thank you so much. You have really proved one. And with this, we have actually come to the end of the evening and this interactive session. Though I personally don't want to leave this session because it is very, very interesting for me, and I hope everyone is enjoying there. But with this, I'm really thankful, and I would like to thank each one of you, starting with our CEO, Power, Mr. Rajendra Singh Ahuja. And I would also like to thank Mandy, right? For me, you are a biker, Mandy. And I would also like to thank here Kiran Kanodia. Kiran, you inspire, you have proved that any disability is not leaving behind the strength of a woman. And now I would also like to personally thank Zainab. Zainab, you have proved that equality, what it truly seems, and we have to build it every day. But yes, I'm sure that the world is changing for us. And with this, I would also like to thank my co-anchor Gopika for leading and starting this way, and my support team, this Aarti, Surjeet, Sri Lakshmi, and Deepak Vishwakarma for really making and organizing everything end to end. And our last but not the least, our 3 admiring and inspirational leaders who are the torch bearers of this organization. Starting with Pankaj Sharma sir, thank you so much. Also, I would like to thank Devendra sir and Venkat sir, and also to my a partner is Kapil Malhotra from the plant. So this is very important thing. So I would like to invite Kapil also if he would like to share a few words.
Thank you very much, Abhilasha. Really very insightful session. The stories which were told were very goosebumps. Really came to me also. So that's really stupendous of everybody sharing their experience. And I should say that Vedanta Power is really committed towards the diversity front, not only with respect to the numbers, but at the ground also. It is not just we are talking about the numbers. The leaders here are not talking about numbers. They are the actual fact what we'll be doing on the shop floor. We are committing that. So all the very best to everybody, and definitely we will rise to the new heights in diversity. Thank you.
Absolutely. And coming forward, last but not the least, Rohit, thank you so much for your inspirational story and sharing the breakthrough, unlike from the outside country. Let's build more stories here in our country as well. And let's give the example next time, with the strive for excellence. So ending this with a very important,
one thing that I wouldn't want to miss out, definitely, with such beautiful glowing faces, we should definitely take a picture, isn't it?
Absolutely. Everyone, please switch on your cameras. Okay. So with this, जैसे शिव शक्ति के बिना अधूरे हैं, वैसे शक्ति भी शिव के बिना अधूरी है, और इस संसार को चलाने के लिए शिव और शक्ति दोनों को साथ होना बहुत जरूरी है. तो आइए मिलके ये संसार चलाते हैं, and let's say wow for power, and we all will make this a great organization. Of course, there are a lot of focus that we are here. The new and Holi is coming. With this, I also would like to wish each one of you a very happy Holi. May this Holi we all wish for the success ahead and also the prosperous life in every one of us. And my regards to every one of you present here. So with this,
Abhilasha, and just I think we should also thank Aarti. She was working behind, making all the detailed notes, putting in the schedule, and so Aarti, we cannot close this without actually naming you. And if you want to also speak few words, please, because you have been the force in getting this along with Abhilasha, Gopika, and everyone to this shade. Anything you want to speak, please.
I was in the room where we were directing along with Avneek. So thank you so much, Mr. Oja, for the opportunity, and thank you to the wonderful panelists, Abhilasha, Gopika. Absolutely great work in kind of putting this together, and of course to also our leadership. I don't think so that the vision that we've set for ourselves in terms of reaching a certain goal is ever possible without your guidance, without your support. And it's been my first interaction as well after I moved to Vedanta Power with all of you in one place, I'm looking forward to kind of seeing how we can really grow with our women power and showcase the strength that we have at Vedanta Power.
Thank you, Aarti. जैसे हर पूजा आरती के बिना अधूरी है, ये सेशन भी आरती के बिना अधूरा होता है.
That's it. Over. I'll hand it back to Gopika and to Abhilasha.
Thank you. So, sir, with everyone, is there anyone who would like to say something? You can also post your questions, if you want to ask. Of course, we'll take it over, and probably offline. And with this, we conclude the session here. And I would like to thank each one of you again. Also to the participants from the different locations who have constantly participating and listening to us. And what a wonderful interactions that we had. I hope you have loved and enjoyed the session and interactive learning experience that we have got the opportunity from our panelists and from our leaders. Thank you everyone.